Namaste. Welcome to the Hindu Parenting Podcast. When it comes to the external symbols of Hindu identity, we immediately think of the bindi or the tilak. In fact, this is how the world identifies us. In Indian Sign Language, the word Hindu is itself represented by the tilak. Today, we would like to talk about the International Bindi and Tilak Day. As part of that celebration, we'd like to invite three dynamic and dedicated Hindus, the people who are behind the concept and the celebration. Pardeep Kumar Kukreja ji is from Malaysia, the founder of Tara Foundation, which operates 23 Gurukulams in Malaysia for 1,500 Indian children. The goal being to educate them up to graduation and lift them out of poverty in 10 years. Karthik Subramanian ji is from Australia. He is known for his multi-pronged efforts in working for the cause of Sanatana Dharma among the Indian community in Australia. He is also the co-founder of the first community language Sanskrit school in the Southern Hemisphere. He works with the Australian Aboriginal Dharawal community to build bridges between Vedic knowledge and the indigenous community. Dr. Jyotireka Premraj is a homeopathic doctor, yoga teacher, and corporate wellness consultant specializing in the prevention and reversal of lifestyle-related diseases. She's a third-generation Indian origin South African, highly spiritual and deeply involved in promoting dharmic activities both in South Africa and abroad. She is also the co-founder of Hinduism Worldwide Inc., together with Jay Singh and others. She is responsible for taking the concept of International Bindi and Tilak Day to the global audience. Welcome to the distinguished and dedicated guests.
Namaste. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Rekha ji and Shalini ji.
Thank you so much for being on our podcast. We'll start with the first question for Jyotireka ji. How did you come up with the idea of International Bindi and Tilak Day?
Namaste, Shalini ji and Rekha ji. Thank you so much for having us on your platform to create awareness about International Bindi and Tilak Day. Well, the whole initiative started with Hinduism Worldwide Inc. The idea was first shared to me by Karthik ji from Australia, and it was later also shared with the members of the Global Hindu Federation. So when I presented this idea to members of Hinduism Worldwide Inc., we collectively thought that Bindi and Tilak is an excellent and special way to promote Hindu unity and unite Hindus and Hindu organizations globally, irrespective of our language, of the language that we speak. So on 15th of October 2021, Hinduism Worldwide Inc. acted upon the idea and held the first ever International Bindi and Tilak Day. This was held in association with the Global Hindu Federation, and we had participation from temples and Hindu organizations globally from different parts of the world.
What exactly is the purpose of the International Bindi and Tilak Day?
International Bindi and Tilak Day is celebrated with the aim to promote Hindu unity through the Bindi and Tilak, to encourage Hindus worldwide to sport the Bindi and Tilak, and not only at home, but also at the workplace and other public places. It's also to make Hindu identity an accepted norm and to be assertive of the Hindu culture through the Bindi and Tilak. So these are the main points as to why we celebrate International Bindi and Tilak Day.
Yeah, but why did you feel the need, Jyotireka ji, for doing this? Were you seeing an erasure? Were you seeing an erosion? What prompted you to take up this initiative?
So this initiative actually happened during COVID, and it was during this time when the younger generation of Hindus globally connected via WhatsApp, especially as a medium of interaction. And during this time, we felt, during this time, the members of Hinduism Worldwide Inc. Thought, we should start projects that connect Hindus globally, not just in the countries that we live in. So we came about when Karthik ji presented the idea, when Karthik ji said, oh, well, International Bindi and Tilak Day is a great way to connect Hindus through the Bindi and Tilak. We thought it was a really, really good initiative. And we acted upon this as, one way to connect us Hindus in the diaspora through the Bindi and Tilak. Yeah. So, and strangely enough, ever since we have this event, we've been able to connect with Hindus, who participated in the online events from every country. Like we had participation from UK, USA, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Mauritius, Guyana, Suriname, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and even places like Nepal, So it was a great way to connect with Hindus in the diaspora.
If I may just add to that, Rekha ji, what I was noticed was living in Australia and being a first generation Indian and Hindu. I noticed that many migrants or many new students who come from India, in the first month they'll be wearing bindi and confidently, and then slowly it'll keep coming down. The size of the puttu or the tilak or bindi will keep coming down, and after some time it will slowly disappear. And I could and realize that this is not something that they wanted to do, because the moment they go home they'll start wearing it again. I could feel that there was some kind of anxiety in a much more dominant culture, which is not necessarily as permissive as dharmic culture is. And so this the idea was also to bring forth the confidence in people, to give them a platform to share it and bring forth a kind of reasonable confidence that they can wear a bindi and a tilak and go to work and they go to play and things like that. This was also one of the driving factors behind it.
These kind of initiatives are really invaluable in connecting people across different countries. So I'd like to ask Pardeep ji, how has the experience been in your part of the world, and is there a good reception from even not just the first generation Indians, but what about the second and the third?
So thank you so much for having me here. So basically, I firstly want to echo what Karthik ji just said. We live in a country where the Hindus are a minority, and there is definitely a sense of lack of confidence amongst especially the younger generation, and also some in the older generation, about wearing this Indian tilak and walking around. There's been this little bit of an onslaught, I think, on the Hindu tradition and culture over the years. And social media has played a big part in affecting the psyche of the young generation. So many of them tend to shy away in wearing this. And when they do wear it, their fellow colleagues or their friends tend to laugh at them, tend to mock them. And unfortunately, they don't have the answers when they are asked, oh, why are you wearing this dot on your head? They don't know the answers. They're just wearing the dot because the mother was wearing it or the parents told them you should wear a dot, you see. So I think the core issue over here is the awareness, bringing about the education, why we wear the bindi or the tilak or the potu. And with that kind of awareness, when we bring in the science of the whole thing, I think we will gradually bring back our culture where it ought to be. So yes, to directly answer your question, the younger generation, second, third generation, tend to be a bit shy, and it's mainly because they don't know why they're doing this.
So this is particular to the second, third generation Hindus in your part of the world, you mean, or is this something that's uh, you're seeing across the world, since you all are doing it, on a global scale,
Yeah,
Pradeep?
yeah,
Are you seeing it across the board also?
absolutely. Actually, this is definitely a phenomena globally, and I do travel a lot. And I think the young generation of the Hindus all over the world tend to not wear the Bindi and Tilak if they can avoid it. Not long ago, I was in the US a couple of weeks ago, and I hardly saw any young Hindu girl or boy, for that matter, who were actually wearing the Bindi and Tilak and walking around. And there's another little observation here, but I stand corrected in case it's a little biased. I found that even in India, uh, lesser of the young generation are wearing the bindi and the tilla, and more so, if I may say, I think more so this is more predominant in the northern side of India. I see more people in the southern part of India. They wear their bindi and the tilak, and even the vibhuti and all is worn quite prominently. But when you go to the northern side of India, very few people are doing it. I'm not saying that they are not, but lesser people tend to do it in the northern part of India. So I think somewhere along the way, we have lost this culture, and maybe this is the revival that's going on now.
Well,
But did it
actually,
just
both of us, Rekha and me, are from the south, and I think it is for us, it's a new perspective when you say that you see this erasure more in the north, because we
Okay.
generally are feeling that even in the south, the younger generations are simply not wearing bindi or tilak anymore.
Mm,
No one's wearing, and it is being
wow.
definitely erased. And perhaps,
Mm,
to for as a personal anecdote, I think,
mm,
if I have to speak for myself, I also came back to the bindi and tilak almost with a vengeance, because
wow.
and I put it down to the education that I had growing up. I went to a convent school, and in convent
Mm,
schools, actively you are dissuaded from wearing these symbols. So at
correct.
that young age,
Correct.
you are not even asking a question as to why. Okay, so we were never
Mm,
allowed to wear bangles to school. We were never allowed to wear a bindi to school. Never wear big earrings, no anklets, nothing, no flowers in the hair. So
wow.
that was our experience growing up, and then that becomes like normal. You tend to think that that's
Wow.
okay and that's the way to be. So for the
Mm,
longest time ever, I also used to go around without these symbols,
wow.
and then it is when I reverted back and I started to understand that my identity is getting erased, one step
Mm,
at a time. It's then that, I came back to wearing these symbols, actually almost with a vengeance, I must say. So today,
fantastic.
uh, today you will not see me step out of the house without some bangles, without a bindi. But probably 10 or 12 years ago, it was a very different me. If you saw me then and you saw me
Mm,
now, it's chalk and cheese.
mm,
So that's what I would say.
wow.
So this is an experience even in India. It's not just a global thing.
Yeah.
We are also facing serious issues. Very serious issues actually. Yes,
in
Kartik ji.
India, I've noticed. I grew up in India for a great part of my life, and when I go and I visit India quite frequently. But I noticed when I grow up, like the TV presenters, all of them, when I was young or whenever there would never be a presenter who comes without a bindi or a nice sari or something like that, or at best a salwar kameez if she's from North. But now
Mm,
wearing a bindi is so unfashionable. They come without. They come in Western dresses with a suit, dark suit. Where did all the color go? What happened to the identity? And I was actually surprised when one of my friends said that she could not in India. She was working in India, and she was saying that she could not wear bindi to her office because her boss is a Westerner, and this is
Oh,
unheard of. I mean, this is unheard of because in Australia, I cannot if if there's an Indian boss or a non-Australian boss, they cannot impose their values onto the local population. So, this is where that confidence and I would not say aggressiveness, that confidence to stand up for one's values and identity should be there.
True.
uh, interestingly, I
Yeah.
think just on this point, today from Hindu Parenting and from my own handle, we had put out some tweets, about tomorrow's tomorrow's function or tomorrow's significance. And Professor Vaidyanathan actually raised this as an issue and said, Indian newsrooms, especially the English ones, they have done away with Indian dress code, Indian symbols, everything,
Mm.
So he
True.
actually stated this just today, this morning, So
Nice,
it
nice,
sort of
nice.
echoes what you're saying, Karthik ji.
And I think having days like this earmarked, it's just the beginning of reclaiming our identity and our symbols.
Mm.
It's interesting that you mentioned a whole lot of countries that are participating, but I didn't quite notice the mention of India in that. Do you have any plans to for this to be replicated on a wider scale, especially with India's active participation? What is your Indian outreach, if I may ask?
I'll take that. Actually, there is no plans not to include or exclude any country. And if you go back, this was actually spearheaded by Jyoti with such a fierce passion. And the year we started it, we had the participation all the diaspora from African countries, Mauritius, Malaysia, Fiji, and Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and there was participation from India also, but somehow it has not taken on there to that a great extent. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's I really don't have an answer to that because it's that India has got many Hindu organizations working for so many issues, and there's not one particular this doesn't get triggered as a thing to do. For example, if I look at the enthusiastic participation from Suriname and Trinidad and Tobago, and even Kenya, you see some of the people who have been there, the third or fourth generations, the beautiful way that they are able to wear a sari and so confidently put a bindi and tilak and share that. I was surprised. I never uh, thought we'd see things like that. And people doing go puja and sharing that those photos, and so it's to reach out to them, but there is also there is some lack of participation from the representatives from India or any organization that has to take it forward. And we are trying our best. Um, Last year
Who
we
have you
had
approached?
we have not Jyoti Dev,
Can,
whom did we approach
can I just
last year? Yeah,
can I just add something if it's okay? Kartik ji, do you remember our first International Bindi and Tilak Day? It was in association with the Global Hindu Federation, and then we were supported by an organization called DRI, and DRI is from India. So
yeah,
we had Vishali and yeah, I think it was just Vaishali from India who helped
yeah.
us promote it there, but it hadn't been done in a very big way. And then last year we had Tejasvi Suryaji, who also, helped us create awareness through a video that he shared with us to promote International Bindi and Tilak Day. And one of our media partners is also from India. That is Somyaji Creatives. So that's what that's about the participation that we've had from India. We know that it's very, very small, and we would like to, have more organizations involved.
Okay,
Yep.
you had Tejasvi Suryaji participate, right?
Last
Um,
year.
last
Yeah,
year.
last year. Okay. I think we could do some promotion of his video, we could do that too and sort of say that, come on, Indians, pick it up,
Yeah,
because
Right.
we have to,
Yeah.
that's an amazing. Yes,
Yeah.
excellent. I can share the video with you. It would be a good idea for you to share that, on your platform. And I've seen that you have lots of views on your postings on your platform, and that was, very heartwarming for me.
Yeah.
Thanks to Hindu Parenting for helping us create awareness. Yes.
I mean, we personally have come to know of this initiative only this year, only maybe 2, 3 weeks back. So we are doing as much as we can to help promote this, because we feel it is also a very important cause to promote, we also feel that.
I mean, I'm surprised by how I
Yeah, thank you
missed
so
you
much.
in the sense, Shalini, because I know you so well. I know the work that you've been doing. And this is what they call is slipping between the cracks, If you, I don't know why it didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it
we'll
will
see what
surely
we
pick
can
up.
do. Yeah.
Yes, it will surely pick up because, especially with the youth, I think something like this creates the momentum going forward. So,
Yeah.
definitely, I think India will, surprise you soon. I think it'll take off. But
Wonderful.
what about another big, a participant, a country with huge numbers, or at least the tech savvy numbers, the USA? How has the response been from there?
We chose October 15th because we wanted it to have a universal day throughout the year, which doesn't change as per the calendar, so that we can actually put it off in the international calendar. For example, in one country's celebration calendar, or even the aim is to make International Bindi Day as a United Nations observable day. So for that, it'll be good if it is a fixed day. So we chose 15th of October, which happened to be the Vijayadashmi 2 years back. Um, so,
Okay.
and we have got limited. In fact, tomorrow we are having a Swamiji from US talk about it. And there are a few participants from US participating. But again, as in India, it has not taken off to that great extent. So it's still it's a work in process. The whole purpose is to promote the Hindu identity and confidence in wearing it.
And this year we have participation from the Hindu Diaspora Foundation, and that's a US-based foundation. Last year we had participation from Radha Ramadeen. She's from New York, and they have been helping us create awareness in United States. So we've had, but not on as a large scale as we've had in South Africa and UK and Australia and Malaysia as well. Yeah.
Rekhaji and Shalini, can I just add one small aspect here as well?
Please, please.
The so-called confidence or the self-esteem of wearing the bindi tilak, I must say there has been a very significant negative
Mhm.
role that was projected by the Bollywood people, at least. I don't know about the South Indian movie industry, but the Bollywood people, their movies, if you just look back, all the criminals and the crooks and the thugs, they will put a big tilak on them and, make sure that every daku or dacoit is wearing a big tilak.
Mhm.
And I think they do a similar thing with the ladies as well. When there is a negative role in a lady, they'll put one big tilak on the lady's head and all that. So I think these are the soft power kind of techniques they have been using to brainwash us, not just the young generation. I think they even brainwashed a lot of the older people and made the tilak look like a very negative thing to use, you know. So this is another angle where we gradually have to work on and make sure these Bollywood guys, you know, stop this nonsense of theirs.
I'm so glad you brought this point up. Bollywood
Oh.
movies and the media in general, because a few years ago, before I was, doing any of this, um, I I visited the beauty parlor down the,
Mm.
near my house, and
Mm.
they have many of these magazines like Femina and things, and it was quite shocking that the whole magazine had only one picture of a person with a bindi, and that was a villain, in some
Yes.
context. And the bindi had pretty much been erased from even a women's magazine, a mainstream women's magazine in India. So that's
Mm.
how much this part of the world has, we need to do so much within India, and most of our listeners are
Yes.
from India and from US actually. So hopefully we can reach
Mm.
at least a few of those, and
Sure.
appeal to them to take this forward and make this a success.
Correct. Yes. Wonderful.
Was there an official launch of International Bindi and Tilak Day?
Yes, actually, there was an official launch, and the idea to launch it officially actually came from Swami Vedananda Saraswati. He is the convener of the Sannyasa Council of South Africa and also the spiritual head of Arya Samaj South Africa. So it was Swamiji who suggested the idea of launching it, and we had the official launch on the 15th of October 2021. This was hosted by Dharma Broadcasting, which is based in Malaysia. And the launch also had participation from UK, USA, Australia, South Africa, Malaysia, and India, although it wasn't on a very large scale from India. We did have some participation, and we were supported by an organization called DRI. They supported us in for the launch and during the initial year of the celebration.
Okay, so leading on from that, Karthik ji, is there any plan to formalize this initiative? And how does that work? Do you need to approach any
Being
official body, UN or something like that?
we are so actually the two things. One is we would like and we are encouraging people to look at the process of declaring or observing this International Bindi and Tilak Day in their local communities. They can contact their local city, their local government, their local country, and to see whether they can make it on that level. And the other thing is we are still trying to get in, see how it can be taken on the global level at the United Nations and see how it can be declared October 15th as a global International Bindi and Tilak Day. We are trying, but not much progress has been done because there's a lot of bureaucracy involved, and many of us do not even know the process whom to approach. And to be honest, I would appreciate any feedback, any input from anybody to see how this can be taken up.
Do you think there's a role for India? And India was able to get the UN to declare June 21st as International Yoga Day. So, do you think that it would add weight if
It would
if
see the
the
way
Indian
that India is
government or somebody like that
Yes,
the
took this
way.
up?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And
Jyoti, to be honest, the way that the Indian government is now, all the Indian government has to it has to do is to declare International October 15th as the International Day of Bindi and Tilak, and that will be done. But who will do
So,
that?
so can you please help us? I was thinking we have, I'm actually so passionate about International Bindi and Tilak Day because it has taken off so well in South Africa, especially. And we managed to contact Tejasvi Surya last year. So I'm just wondering if in some way we can even send a letter to Narendra Modi ji and tell him exactly what we've done and, get his support, or maybe contact Shantanu Gupta, who was the author of the books for Yogi ji, and ask him if he can please get us into contact with Yogi ji, and maybe we can try that avenue.
Uh, we are a small platform, but we'll do all we can
But you
to try
gained
and
like
promote
10,000
this.
views. You had like 10,000 views on the first video. And I thought that was
But
just amazing.
but given the scale of India's population, that's very minuscule. But it's a start nevertheless. So we will do what we can.
We need to have some kind of an action plan and to give ideas to enthusiastic people listening to this. How can they take it forward? Each of us can do a small thing to a certain extent. So,
Yeah.
how do you celebrate this? What events do you hold? Anything from your experience that you wish to share with the general population to
Okay.
inspire them?
Two things. One thing is that we actually, in Australia, we actually set up posters at different, Indian shops where they sell bindi and things like that with a nice photo, with a big banner. And that increases the curiosity. And many people, most of the youngsters, children, women, they buy bindi. And in one of the shops, apparently, they said that they will give free Bindi and Tilak on International Bindi Day tomorrow. So the one is by posters, and then we get the temples to promote these promote it with posters, and we've shared a Facebook page, and people can share their experiences. And also in temples, we ask Swamijis and the Pandits to make sure that everybody who comes there, they insist that they wear a bindi and tilak. And because in the last few years, it has always been held during Navaratri day, people are actually organizing a bindi, what is called bindi tea party. Hmm? And then when people come for Navaratri, things like that, they talk about that and talk about the significance of wearing it and things like that. Traditionally, we used to go to people's houses, exchange gifts. But now we are, of course, bindi was given in a form of a kumkum, but we request them to give a small, to actually make it out of the traditional sindoor and turmeric and apply it on them. This is some of the in-house that we are in-house ways that we are promoting it. We are also getting some Indian MPs to talk about Bindi and Tilak, and we are spreading their messages on Facebook and social media, and give that the exposure so that children can look up to them, and they're proud. A person like a local MP is wearing a Bindi and Tilak and comes to the function and celebrates it, and this is one of the ways that we encourage people to participate.
Okay, so this is a great start. Do you think that this movement will expand to encompass further things? It's a tokenism to start with the Bindi and Tilak, so an important one. But how do
Yeah.
you see the movement expanding and growing?
Yes, we started off. Started off in a very small way, and every year we got bigger and bigger. So last year we actually had participation from like almost 30 countries. Was it 30? We had support from 30 organizations, sorry, and like more than 12 or 15 countries participated in our online event. So yeah, and our goal is to, and our actual aim, and I hope this manifests, that every single Hindu temple and Hindu organization globally celebrates International Bindi and Tilak Day, just like how we celebrate Navaratri and Diwali and other Hindu festivals. So, and we don't want future generations to forget the Bindi and Tilak, because you noticed, well, even in South Africa, like the younger generation after marriage, they don't tend to wear the bindi and a bindi, like most married women. But in like now, the newer generation, they don't do that. It's not like when our mothers, like my mother, would use it every single day. But it's not the case now. So by having International Bindi and Tilak Day, people, especially the younger generation, would not be afraid of their culture and tradition, and they would be proud to use the Bindi and Tilak. So that's what I feel is the aim. So, Karthik ji, maybe you should add to that.
Yeah. We also wanted to be an ongoing educational program. For instance, this year we suggested, leading up to the Bindi and Tilak Day, we have suggested that people post. They are given some simple tasks for say we ask the children and the youngsters, and in some cases the elders also, to know their name, the significance of their name, the meaning of their name. What is it? If I ask their parents or Google it and find out, or research in it, find out. And then what is the name of the Kula Devata? What is the name of the Ishta Devata? What is the significance of that? And what is their ancestry? Let them know that, find out the names of their paternal grandparents, 3 or 4 generations as far as they go, the maternal grandparents, 3 or 4 generations as far as they can go. And then encourage them to go and serve in a Hindu association for at least 10 or 15, maybe once a week. It can be a temple, cooking or cleaning. It can be visiting an elderly person. It can be taking food to somebody. For younger children, it can even be helping your mother, or helping your dad at home. So these are the concept of karma and duty that we try to bring forth. And last but not least, we are asking people to meditate for at least 1 minute a day, or at 2 minutes a day, chanting Om. This can be done when they are at work, when they're going to school, when they're in the train, or anything like that. The reason I say 1 minute is that it will probably be easier for a child to start with. I'm not suggesting a person who's a big sadhaka who can meditate for half an hour every day to give it up and do it for only 1 minute, but just for people who have no idea about it, just start. So these are the small steps that we feel that they could do it on their day-to-day life and get an awareness and slow, easy practice of their dharma.
So these are extremely laudable and uh, excellent initiatives. I think we could do the same in Bharat also. Uh, we are woefully lacking in all of
Yes.
this even here. So
We absolutely need to do it here.
yeah.
Anything else
Okay,
that
cool.
either of
Yeah,
you
that's
wants
fine.
to
That's
say?
fine.
Please
Yeah,
repeat
just
that.
one point. Only if you can focus on the day also that we chose 15th of October, because there's so much of confusion with the day. So we have chosen 15th of October as a day to celebrate International Bindi and Tilak Day. And the reason why we did it, as Karthik ji mentioned, was in 2021, the very auspicious day of Vijay Dashami fell on 15th of October. So that's the date we've chosen. And collectively, we all decided that going forward, it will be held every year on the 15th of October, and that won't be changed. So, yeah, so that's just the other thing I wanted to emphasize on.
Yeah, thank you. I think we missed that, and that's very important to clarify. Why an October 15th was chosen initially.
Yeah, well, all I can say is that, first and foremost, thank you guys for this podcast, and you're amazing, and we're on this journey to bring back the grandeur of our Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. Uh, and there's one thing I always love to tell, especially my friends in Bharat. See, we're always looking at the Indian diaspora outside of Bharat and looking at issues inside Bharat. So we are like trying to revive from these different countries that we all are, trying to revive or help things in Bharat, in India. Now, interestingly, Bharat India has got more than 1.1 million Hindus there. You guys are such a huge community. Your population is so huge, 1.1 million Hindus. Actually, we have to come to a point where the minorities like us, the diaspora like us in the different countries, will be looking at the strength and the support of the Hindus in Bharat rather than the other way around. Did I sort of make myself clear?
Very important
Mm,
observation.
mm,
I wish it comes to pass, because
Yeah,
Yes.
so I always tell people, we must we must give wings to Bharat so that uh, the history, culture, tradition, science flies out of Bharat to the world rather than the other way around, rather than converging into Bharat. It should fly from Bharat to the rest of the world. Yeah,
yes,
that
because
summarizes what I was trying to say.
Bharat is the sacred bhumi, this is
Yeah.
our land. So yeah,
Yeah.
so
So the
I
energy should go out
absolutely,
of there, flow out of there. Yeah.
absolutely, I'm utterly in
Yeah.
sync with your thoughts,
Lovely, lovely.
and that's
Thank
why
you.
I personally, I think that's why we both have taken such a deep interest in promoting this, because we just don't see it as some sort of symbolic thing that one day you do it and then you've forgotten. We really want to make this a movement, because it might start on the pop level, but definitely,
Mm,
just like I think the International Yoga Day has now become a thing,
mm,
and everybody
mm.
is doing
Correct,
yoga. Okay, I accept that it's
correct,
still not going to the deeper levels of yoga, but at least a start
mm,
has been made, and at least
correct.
Bharatiyas are taking to yoga. I mean, before this
Yes.
mm,
International Yoga Day, you ask any Indian, no one used to
Mm.
do yoga, so
Correct, correct,
we
correct, correct,
practically never knew it. So it needed an International Yoga Day to wake us up to our own treasures. So probably we need a Bindi Tilak Day to wake us up to what we have already, so that's
Lovely.
that's why
mm,
both Rekha and me have been so passionate about promoting this and doing what we can in our capacity to help this initiative.
Mm. Lovely.
So thank you, Jyotireka ji, thank you, Karthik ji, and thank you, Pradeep ji, so much for coming and sharing your views, and actually enlightening us about this very, very important and necessary initiative, I would say. So we at Hindu Parenting will do all that we can to help promote this, and we wish you all success with the initiative, and wish you all a very happy International Bindi and Tilak Day 2023 for October 15th. And to our listeners, we request all of you to actively participate in this. If you're on social media, please use the hashtag International Bindi and Tilak Day 2023. Upload your photos with a bindi or a tilak. Upload photos of yourself or your pets, or um, any possession that you hold dear and would like to apply the bindi and tilak to. Please upload photos, share them, tell people around you. We got to make this a movement. So that's where we are coming from, and we thank you all for listening. Um, we will get into the symbolism of the Bindi and Tilak maybe at a future date in a different podcast. But for now, the emphasis is on this celebration. So please do join in, celebrate, and let's make this a big success. So to all of you, thank you for listening. And until the next time, namaste.